Zach. Mike. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you guys.
So there have recorders here. So
Okay.
at least
are
it's
being
nice
recorded.
and quiet now,
Okay.
but you can talk into that.
Getting in close. Mike, Zach,
Meagan.
Meagan.
And
Wonderful.
you play Asher.
I do play Asher.
What can you tell us about Asher?
Asher's he's kind of the one who is like, who's the one who did that crazy thing last week? And that's Asher, more the hedonistic, sinful one of the group. Usually the first to make the mistakes. That's Asher.
You go.
Yeah. So what is it? I mean, usually horror films you don't have like really huge names and that sort of thing, and you're working with a guy who just edited a Academy Award-winning film, and and the producer of basically every amazing film.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that like on a film like this?
Oh man, it's just instills everyone with that confidence just to have those names attached to this project. I'm a big horror film buff, and to have something new. When I read this script initially, as I was reading it, I stopped. Like, it was one of those like whoa a couple times. It was just different, and so I knew initially upon just finishing the script, I was like, got to do this, and then saw who was attached. It was a no-brainer. And it's fun. It's obviously there's a lot of just spectacle to this, and it's different from anything that we've seen, and but has the classic tropes of horror in there, and I think people are gonna have a lot of fun with this.
How'd you get ready for your role?
How did I get ready in preparation for the role? I had been to Halloween Horror Nights and things of that nature, so that was something that I had within my wheelhouse, and then just watching films that are similar in genre. I'm already, like I said earlier, I'm already a horror film person, so I had just watched It Follows right before this, and so that was one of those movies that I actually go for night jogs a lot of the time, and It Follows, and I've seen so that movie fucking freaked me the fuck out. Like, I'd go for a night jog and I'd look over and be like, oh shit, person's just looking at me. So just watching a lot of things, catching myself up, reading the script over and over, getting up to date, and then I like to stay fit too. So that was part of my preparation for that. And then, in terms of preparation, when we all get together, it's obviously a strong ensemble of friends, and it was easy. It was really easy for all of us to hang out. It was one of those things where we got to know each other, and we felt like we knew each other instantly right away, and we certainly hang out and collaborate that way.
What's been your favorite aspect of filming?
Just, for me, like I said, being friends and hanging out with everybody, but also being able to be in a park. I think I fantasize about being in a theme park when it's empty and being able to walk around. So being able to film in that's all truth, that's all real, because the scarers and everyone freaking us out on set, those are legitimate scares that you guys are going to see, and that's not acting in there. It's a lot of fun.
So you've actually gotten scared too?
I would say most definitely. Yeah, they do a great job of keeping us surprised of what they're going to do, and not keeping us abreast of the things that are going to pop out. So yeah, it's really cool. It's true.
So Greg's caught you because he's mentioned that he'll randomly have a couple different takes.
Oh yeah, especially yeah. I mean, I can't talk any specifically, but yeah, of course. But most definitely. He definitely. I mean, he that's part of his MO for the day. You know, in addition to directing, he wants to legitimately scare us during this movie, and I would say he definitely succeeds.
Out of the entire horror genre, what scares you the most that it has to offer?
I like movies that don't necessarily explain the logic of things. Like in It Follows, it sort of doesn't. You don't go into the origin of what happened, and maybe you will in sequels and prequels and whatnot, and that's why The Ring freaked me the fuck out. You know, first of all, Ringu and The Ring freaked me out, but just the imagery without sort of explaining everything, the unknown. I love that in horror.
How do you feel like this there's a lot of tropes and cliches. How do you feel like this addresses that or flips it on its head?
I think definitely the people who are looking for that are gonna get what they want. It certainly is classic in that sense, but the story is just something different and something new, and you're gonna be able to see something that you hadn't seen before. And it's a fresh take on it, on the classic tropes, and it's a new spin. And you're gonna feel like you're at a theme park, and you're gonna want to go to a theme park afterwards and probably experience it like we did, and hopefully watch it multiple times. It's a lot of fun.
Do you think there's little like Easter eggs kind of that you can see that you wouldn't see on your first viewing? I mean, I know there's like probably a lot of detail on it.
I would say so. Yeah, there's just so much to this in terms of the art and the production value and set and costume and everything. Yeah, I think upon multiple views into the Blu-ray watching of this, you'll be like, oh, I didn't catch that the first time. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
You're looking forward to doing a commentary on the DVD then?
Sure, should they let me?
what film? You mentioned It Follows, but like is like in the more this sort of genre, like 80s and 70s films. Is there any films that you watch and you're like, I want to steal that idea or steal the way he screams?
The way he screams.
Something. I feel like that's like actually a really it's a really important thing. I mean.
Sure. No, I think when you're watching films, this film in particular, just my character in general, some of the characteristics just reminded me of Marty McFly, who's like one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah.
And so that's a very 80s thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I take a lot of cues from that, and that's very much within what I use for this. I'm trying to think. Comparable movies.
Don't worry, it stumped the other two guys.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
So you're not worried.
The guys just suck.
It's a hard call. But
yeah, if it comes up, I'll bring it up. I'll throw it in there.
Was there a particular costume or effect that you liked the most?
Yes, I don't know if I'm on this. But yes. There's a really campy horror movie in space that there's some costumes in particular that are prominent within this movie that I love. And as I walked up into the scene and was seeing these costumes, I was like, this legitimately made people cry, and it will make people cry, and it's highlighted really well in some particular scenes in the film, and particularly if it's your fear. I mean, this sounds like a no-brainer. If it's your fear, of course it's gonna make you cry, but it's just really well done. So,
right?
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of the masks. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I answered that, but.
We saw the map. We kind of did a little walkthrough.
Oh,
so
cool. Okay.
What would your favorite house be? Either from your character's perspective or your own. If it was a legit house, which one would be your favorite?
For me, it would probably be the Deadlands, just because there's a particular part of the park where things can happen, and you have to sign a waiver, and in order to enter that. And anytime you have to sign a waiver in real life, you're like, okay, shit just got a little bit more real. And particularly in a scare house.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
The fear level goes up a little bit. So I would say that. I would say the Deadlands.
Having been in this movie, would you actually do a haunt now that has a waiver? No question. Absolutely.
I mean, I just, the exhilaration of what we're experiencing now it just makes me want to, I like horror movies, and I like being scared. I like the exhilaration that comes afterwards and the come down and talking about what you were experiencing. But yeah, I would. I don't know that, people might see this and be like, wow, that's going to freak me out from ever going into horror mazes and whatnot. But it certainly made me want to just be like, man, I got to start going to all of these everywhere. Like, one of the best ones that I've ever been to was a traveling one in North Florida, and it was called Night Terrors. and I don't know if this was like a rinky-dink type one, but they had 3 different mazes you could go to, and maybe it was the low budget of it that made it so terrifying, but it was so terrifying, and I loved it.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Arm day or leg day, which one's more important throughout the week? From someone that goes to the gym 5 days a week.
I mean, within this week, because it's been so cold, I got to get leg day in because it just keeps my whole body like warm. Yeah, I definitely need to. Like sometimes I'll show up to set and be like, "Aren't you fucking cold?" And I'm like, "Well, I just kind of worked out, but I need to stay like lifting heavy weights in order for my body to stay warm." But I typically stay warmer than the rest of the cast. Let's say leg day. Let's say leg day.
So, Halloween is the new Halloween is this October, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think you're going to be able to? It's a challenge. Do you think you guys are going to be able to take on Halloween, the new reboot?
I think it's just different. I think it's a different movie for fans. I think people are going to look forward to seeing Michael Myers, obviously, and we're a different kind of movie. We're a very strong ensemble, and it's about the park itself, and it's a different kind of fear. I think around the same time, the second Goosebumps is also coming out. So again, it's a different demographic. So yeah, I think it's October, so there's something for everyone, and I think I look forward to seeing how the movie turns out as well.
So you're going to go for the diplomatic answer. Not going to let me build like a whole thing. Okay.
I actually I worked with a guy in another horror movie who's working on that film too, so I'm excited to see that as well.
Is there a particular character that audiences are going to root for throughout the film?
It's just a strong,
or the group of friends?
It's a strong female driven cast, and I hope that everyone sees this, and I think you get to pick your 3 favorite from all these women, and we've seen so many strong female heroines throughout horror cinema. With escapes me at the time, but Jamie Lee Curtis's character in Halloween, and Sydney from Scream and whatnot. So this is the next chapter of that.
Do you get to be very physical in your role?
I would say so. I wanted to come in and do a bunch of kicks and like spin kicks and really excited when I came in, but these pants are so tight. I actually ripped the first pair of them like right along the crotch, and I was like, oh, I can't do any spin kicks when I come in. But as physical as I can be, I love to be, yeah.
They showed us some characters in the costume/makeup shop that spits like goo and slime. Does that apply to you? Do you get to get covered in any? No.
No.
Can't divulge.
Good.
Sorry, guys.
No fluids.
No fluids for you. No talk. No fluids.
Have you reacted to done a natural reaction to any of the scares? Like knock somebody out or something?
Oh, one of those. No,
Yeah.
I've managed to keep contained. My fiance often loves to scare me, and my first position as a martial artist is just to put my hands up without striking. So it's, boom. Oh, but so no, I have not knocked anyone out. Hopefully not within the process.
Good?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks so much.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so
Pleased to meet you.
Pleasure.
Take
Thank
care,
you
guys.
very much.
Can't wait to see it.
you.
Great.
Bye.